Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA Car Kits in a 2015 Range Rover Evoque, and today we're going to show you how to install our Apple CarPlay and AndroidAuto kit. As you can see, it's already installed on this car and it's paired to our iPhone wirelessly. You can also pair it wirelessly to your Android phone, and once it's installed you can control the interface by touchscreen. You can easily switch back to the original system by pressing and holding the home button, and once the kit is installed it replaces the original navigation. So you can access the kit by pressing this button. And now we're going to go ahead and show you how to install it in this particular car. So the tools that you're going to need is a panel removal tool, a T20 Torx, and a T30 Torx. So first we're going to release this steering wheel and we're going to move it all the way out and keep it in the middle here, because we're going to remove this panel around the bottom of the cluster. So we're just going to grab it with our hands and pull it. So it has to be loose like that. That's because we're first going to get to this bolt right here. It's a T30, and then there's another one behind here. We're going to show you in a second. So this is our T30, and we're going to go ahead and loosen and remove this bolt. So we pulled back this panel, and over here you're going to see the bolt, which is the one that we have to remove. Now we're going to use our T30 Torx and remove this bolt. Now we're going to use our panel removal tool and we're going to remove these two covers. So we at them from the top. They come out. I'll show you after. Then this is the second one. So this is how it looks. It's just held on these three clips, and at the bottom there's this guide pin which you have to put in first when we're going to be putting them back. Underneath those panels there's two bolts, so there's one on this side and one on the other side right here. Again, we're going to use our T30 and remove them. So now we opened the passenger door, and here we're going to remove this panel by using our panel removal tool. Gonna get underneath here and we'll just pop out. Once you remove it, you're gonna see there's one and two T30 bolts which we're gonna remove. So now we're using a T20 and we have to remove two bolts behind this panel, so it's very hard to see them, so you have to see it based on where I have the screwdriver faced. So here you go, this is the bolt and it's a T20. And now we're doing the same on the driver's side. Again, once you get underneath them you can see them, but to show you on camera it's very hard. So this is the second bolt. So now with all the bolts removed, we can remove this panel. So you have to get underneath it and lift it up, because it's on top here. It's held on these hooks here, and once you have it removed there is a connection which you have to press on the clip to disconnect. So now we're going to open the armrest, because we're going to be lifting up this center console. You just lift it up from here and then work your way down, because there's two big hooks which hold it in place. So once you pop it out like that, you're going to see a connection here. There's a green one. So you're just going to press on the clip and disconnect it. Then you will move the panel to the other side. And there's another black connection here. So you will press on the clip and disconnect it. Now you can take the whole console and tilt it to its side. We're just gonna be left with this connection for the gear selector, which you don't want to disconnect. That's why you can just position the panel here and it's fine. So now we're gonna use a T20 and we're gonna remove, so there's three bolts on each side, so there's two on each side that hold the screen, then there's one more here that hold the actual head unit, and same on this side, there's one bolt here and two that hold the screen. So now we're going to show you what comes inside your kit. So you have the main module, Then you have this main harness cable. So the bigger connection will connect at the back of the head unit. Then the smaller one will connect at the back of the screen. And then you have a few extra things. So you have a wireless antenna. We also have a USB cable for wired CarPlay, or if you need to do updates, you would plug in your USB stick here. And then this is a video cable, which we're going to plug in at the back of the original screen. So we will grab the head unit and hang it down like this. Then we will take the screen. So the back of the screen, you will work with these two connections. This is the one for the video cable. You will disconnect the original one, and you will take the one that came with our kit and just replace it. And then this one will be left unplugged even if you complete the installation. Then this one we will disconnect. Now this is part of our harness, which has the smaller gray connection. So you will feed it in this opening right here behind the screen. You will connect the original one into our connection, and ours will go to the back of the screen. You will take the video wire which you just connected, and you will feed it down, because this wire will go all the way down underneath the center console. And at this point you can put the screen back, and it tends to fall out, so you can put 1 or 2 bolts so it stays in place. So now this is the back of the head unit. We're gonna unplug this original connection, the big gray one. Same as we did for the screen, we're gonna take our harness, plug it into our harness, and our harness will go plug into the back of the head unit. And you're left with these 2 wires. So this is the video wire and the main harness that will plug into the module. And our goal is to feed them underneath there, so we can hide the module there. And there is an opening over there in the middle. Drop these 2 wires there in order to feed them underneath. So as you can see, this is our harness, and here is our video wire. So we end up with these 2 wires, and now we're gonna grab our module, and one is marked as a power. We'll plug it in here. And this is marked as LVDS. This is for our video. Next we have our USB wire, and with this one you have a few options in this car where you can run it. You can either have this come out in the glove box. So in the glove box here there is this fuse panel cover. So once you remove this fuse box cover, you're gonna see there's a big opening there, so you can feed the USB wire there and run it all the way down and connect to our module. But we're gonna do it a little different here. We will have this wire come out around here, so we will feed it through like that, and then we're gonna do the same. We're gonna drop it down in the middle so we can connect it to our module. So this is the USB wire, and we will connect to this connection marked as USB. And the last thing that you are left with is this connection for the wireless antenna. So we will just connect it, and it's fine to leave right by the module, and the module will stay around here, so there will be enough space for everything to go back in once we start assembling everything back. So now you can put the head unit back. You gotta make sure that it lines up. So there's these 2 plastic guides, one on each side, which have to get into their position, and only then it will go all the way in. So you have to play around with it, but usually it's supposed to be flush once you install it. So now we're gonna put the screws back that hold the head unit. So there's only 2. This way you will avoid to remove the center console again even after you test, because it's hard to remove it due to the 2 connections underneath it. So we'll just put these 2 bolts back, but we're still gonna test everything before we assemble everything back. So we're gonna take our center console, we will tilt it. As I mentioned before, there's these two big guides here, so we will have it like that. So for testing, you got to make sure to connect the two connections underneath the center console. So there's the black one here, so it's been connected, and then there's the green one over here. And once they've been connected, you can put the center console in, and then it just snaps into place. And now we're gonna go ahead and reconnect this dashboard piece, because it's also required for testing. Here you go. And you can kind of rest this panel without screwing anything in. So now we're gonna test everything. So we have our iPhone connected by the wire. We're gonna turn on the car. You gotta make sure to set your audio setting to auxiliary. That way you're gonna hear stuff from CarPlay. And now you can press the navigation button here, because the kit has replaced the original navigation. So it takes you to this mode which you didn't have before. And now we're gonna launch CarPlay. Here you go, you have CarPlay. So you're gonna test the touchscreen, and you will test the sound. So the sound is working, and the interface is working. After testing everything, we remove the dashboard out, and now we can assemble everything back. And we already had one bolt in here, because for the screen not to fall out. Now we're gonna put back the two bolts right here at the back of the center console. So now we can put this panel back for good. You can connect it, and you maneuver it around. This, it has to be lifted up like that in order to go into its clips right there. And now we can put the bolts back that hold it in place. So now we're gonna put these pieces back. Again, the bottom goes in first, and then it just clips in. Same on this side, but here we have our USB, so we'll move it to the side a little bit. As you can see, USB is right here. Next, we're gonna put these two bolts back. So one goes back here, and the other one on the side right there. So next, you have to clip in this panel. You just make sure that it lines up and push on it. Same on this side. And then you can put the steering wheel back. So now we have to put the two bolts back on the passenger side here when we open the door. Second one right here. Now we can snap this cover back in place. So first you insert towards this weather stripping, and now you can clip it in. So at this point the installation is complete. We have our phone paired wirelessly, you have CarPlay, and again, this was a video for GTA Car Kits in a 2015 Range Rover Evoque. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time.